Over the last year, we have faced challenges. Challenges unlike any we've encountered before. No matter how rocky our path became, Heartspring continued to persevere. The children of Heartspring faced obstacles each day. Yet, they continued to achieve milestones and overcome adversity. Your belief in our mission, every step of the way, helped make the achievement of dreams possible. You fueled inspiration. You kept our hearts full. You became a shining light, a calming presence, a constant companion to Heartspring and to the children we serve. We can never know what lies ahead. We can be certain, as life has shown us, there will be challenges to overcome. But with you by our side, we can achieve anything. There is greatness waiting at the top.
Everyone. Am I going to get in trouble if I touch the mic? Thank you. Well, I have to tell you, as I was watching our introduction video and feeling inspired with you all this morning, it's a beautiful sight to see, to stand and just glaze over the room and see all of these wonderful faces that are able to come together in support of Heartspring. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Our goal for this morning is for you all to feel appreciated, celebrated, inspired, and motivated. We could not be more pleased to be hosting each of you on our campus. Now, if you will hold on to your inner rock climbing, hiking, adventurer, as we gear up for a very special treat. We're fortunate this morning for many reasons, one of which is to be graced by the presence of Miss Kansas, Annika Wooton, and today she will be enlightening us with her special talent. Amazing. Thank you so much. Art is not one of my talents. I appreciate those who do have that. And we are going to be doing a door prize later, and one of you will be leaving with this beautiful one-of-a-kind painting. So very exciting. We'll do that at the end of the day. We know many of you are likely finished with your breakfast, or some of you still eating, and please do continue to enjoy. But at this time, if you'll allow us, we're going to invite Miss Kristin Gunter to grace our time together.
Thank you. If we could all be in an attitude of prayer. Dear God, we are so excited to be in your presence. We are most excited to have such a relationship with you that allows us to have access to you at all times. God, we thank you, and we just pray your blessings over this wonderful organization, over the wonderful director and staff, and all of those that are coming in for services, God, for allowing us to be the hands and feet that allows this beautiful staff to carry out the tasks that you have allowed them to carry out every single day. God, continue to fuel us with everything that we need to carry on the mission of Heartspring and the wonderful ways that you are using this wonderful group of people to share your love, your strength, and your passion to a deserving group of kids that desire to grow, to be strong, and to add to our wonderful community. We love you and we thank you for all that you are. This is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'll give Kristin a formal introduction here shortly. You're going to hear from her again this morning. Now, if you will please take a moment to honor those who have graced Heartspring with their time, leadership, and financial support, but are no longer with us. I know that many of you in this room love somebody that we just featured on this screen, so thank you for sharing your love with them with Heartspring. We appreciate you. So before I welcome our first speaker, I would like to take a moment to celebrate some of our special guests here with us today. First, we have Mayor Brandon Whipple joining us. Thank you so much, Mayor, for being here. And also, if we could ask the next few people to stand up, members of our Board of Trustees, our foundation, and endowment boards, if you will please stand. Don't be shy. Thank you. These individuals ensure the success of Heartspring, and as we have seen success for 87 years, hope to continue that for another 87 plus. So thank you to each of you for the time and energy that you invest in to making us who we are today. And now, please help me welcome Darrell KELLEY, our board chair, to the podium.
As Stacie said, it's wonderful to see so many folks here today, the volunteers that support our mission. And as the video alluded to, it has been a tough year. but our leadership team and our staff at Heartspring have done a wonderful job in keeping our mission on point. And we're very excited. We're working on a strategic plan. We haven't had one in several years. New CEO. We have a lot of thoughts and plans to move forward and expand the mission of Heartspring. And we could not do that without the time and the donations that the volunteers give. So I just want to thank you personally for all the assistance that you give the Heartspring staff and the organization, because without you, we could not do what we do. Thanks.
So that was just a short snippet. While that video did not feature all of our sponsors, it did feature many who have continued their support in very big ways for Heartspring over the last year. As we have said and will continue to say throughout this morning, we're very grateful for each of you, for your commitment to Heartspring's success, and more importantly, for your commitment to those we serve. You all have shown us unwavering support over the last year. With that, I'd like to share a few quick facts with you so that you can truly see the difference your support has made. Since we were last together, this group joined in September of 2020, Heartspring has received gifts from 741 donors with over $650,000, received 82 in-kind donations worth over $101,000, received over $300,000 in grants funded, achieved 56 sponsors and host couples committed for 2021 events, including Light Your Heart, which is happening next week. We'll see many of your faces there. And our newest event to happen in August, CareFest. 36 CareFest committee members who have given over 100 hours to ensuring this event's success. 26 individual chapters and sororities who have supported our classrooms, our homes, and our mission. 14 board members who have given over 100 hours to board and committee meetings, and 284 employees have given over $26,000 with an average gift of $8 per pay period and a commitment for the next year of $45,000 from our Heartspring staff. Incredible. So we have a lot to celebrate. Now we are going to move into our award recognition portion of the ceremony. New this year, many of our awards are surprises to those who will be receiving them, so we're very excited for this. And additionally, if you are an award recipient, if you will please just come to the front and we will hand you your award. No comments necessary unless you choose to. And then we will take photos out in the hallway after the presentation is finished. So first up, let's recognize our individual Volunteer of the Year.
Megan is a great choice for the Volunteer of the Year award because she has been volunteering at Heartspring for at least 15 years.
She gives up a lot of her time. There's no hesitation. If you ask her, she's going to do it. And I think some of the times you kind of feel bad because you know if you do ask her, she's going to come and she's going to volunteer her time.
She multitasks, she covers things. There is nothing that she sees that fits or serves the mission that she believes is beneath her.
She makes me tired, seeing all the things that she involves herself in. To me, that's Megan. That's where she lives. She lives with making sure that she goes above and beyond. And I don't even think she realizes it. I just think she does it because that's who she is.
Megan deserves the Volunteer of the Year award because she personifies our values in everything that she does. She's not going to ask other people to support Heartspring if she's not willing to support it herself.
I love her so much, and I enjoy her and all she brings to Heartspring, and to be here for almost 20 years, that just speaks a lot.
I think the reason why Megan deserves the Volunteer of the Year award, one of my favorite sayings is, why not? What she does every day from a volunteer standpoint, and again, the sacrifices that she makes. After this award, and being recognized for that, she'll still do it the next day and the next day, and we could probably put her in Volunteer of the Year award for next year, because that's what she does.
Unfortunately, Megan is home ill, but she is tuning in. We are filming virtually today, so we have a number of people across the country joining in with us, and we are so excited to be able to recognize her when she is feeling better. Megan is also our division director for the Heartspring School, so she carries a very big load here in terms of mission, and she lives our values every day. We're so grateful for her. Next up is our Volunteer Group of the Year. The ladies of Epsilon Sigma Alpha are absolutely fabulous. They have helped us for decades.
They have taken on the full responsibility of handling everything with our prom. They choose the theme. There's so many ladies that come out from ESA that decorate. They spend a lot of time and energy out here. And the ESA ladies literally do all the work. And it's amazing because it allows everyone else to enjoy it and have a great time.
ESA is such a lovely, wonderful, caring group of ladies. They always make sure to put a smile on our kids' faces.
This year, everything looked a little bit different because of COVID, and we weren't allowing outside visitors on campus. And the best part about these ladies is they continued to reach out and say, what can we do? And so we would brainstorm on ideas. They still provided Halloween bags. They brought special Valentine treats for our students.
They do so much that it's really great that they're gonna get this recognition, because we don't always see everything that they do, but it's felt.
The ESA ladies deserve the Group of the Year award because they're always willing to go the extra mile.
They're always prepared to kind of roll with the punches and do whatever they can to be a part of Heartspring's mission and really lift up our students and our families and help make them feel special.
Ladies, if you will stand, if somebody wants to come up and receive your award. So special to us. Thank you. We're full of special treats today, so we have another special treat for you. Miss Kristin Gunter, who you heard from earlier, has joined us with the gift of voice. Today she is gracing us with a song. You may have also read in your program that we have another special guest, Sherdeill Breathett Sr, coming up later this morning. And if you were not aware, Kristin is his talented daughter. Kristin Gunter is the proud wife to her loving husband, Daly, and a new mother to their 5-month-old baby girl, Navy Janice Hunter. Kristin is bold about her love for God and passionate about service to her community. She has served in many impactful roles and currently serves as an abstinence lifestyle coach and as the senior pastor of Rock Christian Fellowship Church of the Nazarene, in addition to serving on the Juneteenth ICT Committee as a member of the Action and Inclusion Team for the Global Leadership Conference and board member for W, the Wichita Chamber's Young Professional Sector. She's always had a knack for music and is excited to share with us through song today. She's accompanied by Miss Cherry today. Thank you.
Thank you again for having us this morning. Miss Cherry is actually a mentor of mine, and she was my middle school music teacher, and she actually wrote this song. And so throughout my life, when there seemed to be assignments that seem insurmountable, I could always relate to this song. And so when I think of the staff here at Heartspring, and I think about all of the donors and the hard work that the director does to make sure that the mission goes forward, it makes me think of this song as it is highlighting the word hope. You say I can't, I say I can, that's my hope. I hear you say how, and I say no worries, it's done. So expect good things to happen, expect good things to come true. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. Some days are tough, but we show up no matter what. We give our all, day or night, 'cause it's our love. So we expect first steps to happen. We expect confidence to improve. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. Some say it's not worth it, but we still work 'cause we're called. They deserve our service, and it's our purpose for all. So we have to expect breakthrough to happen. Spread all this love through care and truth. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. You say we can't, but I say we can, that's my hope. I hear you say how, and I say no worries, it's done. So we have to expect good things to happen. Expect our dreams to come true. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. A shining star of hope, that's me and you. Me and you. Thank you.
Who needed to hear that song today? Oh my goodness, I got chills. She's amazing. Thank you so much, Miss Cherry and Kristin. Absolutely beautiful. So now we are going to move on to our third award of the morning, our Values Ambassador of the Year. Each month, Heartspring staff members nominate their peers to be recognized as Values Ambassadors. Nominations are submitted to our Heartspring Strong Committee, in which one individual is selected per month. Of the 12 yearly awards, or monthly awardees, one is selected as the Values Ambassador of the Year. Let's find out who 2021 is.
I would describe Shem as amazing. I mean, if you just see Shem during the day, you see him going above and beyond. Whether that's helping with students, whether that's helping train staff, whether that's meeting one-on-one with people, everything he does is for everyone.
He has taught me so much about the value of serving others, helping others, coming up underneath people to help lift them up, to better their situation, and he brings that vision to work every single day.
You can see that every decision that he makes is about how people are going to be impacted by the mission.
Shem deserves this award because of who he is. He lives and breathes the values that we have here at Heartspring.
Shem puts everybody before himself. He will sit down with somebody and have a conversation with them and really let them know how they can improve while improving the lives of the families and the students that we serve.
He is a leader, he serves everybody, he believes in possibility and gives others the opportunity to grow, and he celebrates everything.
He cares deeply about our mission and every single person that is touched by it. He is the spirit of this award for the year.
Shem, where are you? There we go. Do you want to say any words? Oh, come on, Shem.
Wow, I do not feel like I deserve this. A lot of things I could say. Thank you to Heartspring. I'm so thankful for the leadership here and the investment of people into me. I tell every new hire class the number one thing that comes to mind when I think about my job is just the simple fact that I love coming to work. I love my job. I don't love it because it's easy, and probably no employee at Heartspring would disagree with that statement. But I love it because of the work that we are here to do and getting to be a part of something much larger than myself. And I had short-term plans when I started at Heartspring. I was going to be here short-term, and 9 years later, I'm still here. So obviously, things have changed a little bit, but I've been invested in by the leaders in this place, and I'm just so thankful for these people. I think the last thing I would say, I had been here about 2 years as a staff trainer at that point. I started as a paraeducator, and I remember talking with one of the other paraeducators, and he said to me something I will never forget, and something probably most employees here would agree with. He said, I thought when I started here that God had called me to this place to make a difference in the lives of these kids, and I realized not long after that God called me to this place so that they could make a difference in my life. And I think that is so true for so many of us. This work is worth it, as challenging and as hard as it is, it's worth it. So one more thing I probably need to say. Sorry. Don't ever give me the mic. I am the director of training here, so if I get a chance to talk to people, I'm going to do it. On my way here this morning, I was thinking about the story of the prodigal son, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with that story. Simplified version, you have a son who runs away from home and steals his inheritance. He goes and blows that inheritance, living an unhealthy lifestyle. Loses all the money, can't afford a place to live, can't afford food, and so he goes and makes his home with the pigs and has to eat pig food. Comes to his senses, decides, I'm going to go back home. At least at home, maybe I'll get some decent food. And I read this recently, and I had never seen these words before, but the words were, while he was still a long ways off, the father sees him coming and runs to him. Still a long ways off. My greatest desire in life is to love God and to love people, and I fail every day at that. And so the hope that there's one who is so committed to me and to us that even when I'm still a long ways off, he runs. As I was thinking about that and thinking about our staff at Heartspring, and our students in many ways are still a long ways off. And our team members, our staff come here, and just in the last week, I have seen our employees get punched and bit and kicked and spit on, and those employees come day after day, and they keep showing up because of a commitment that they have to these kids. A committed love, a committed compassion, a committed desire to see, and the hope that song talks about, the hope that they're gonna be different down the road. And so I'm just so thankful. Again, I don't feel like I deserve this. I feel like our people who are on the front line showing up day in and day out, they deserve this. Every one of them deserves this. And so for those of you employees who are here, thank you. For those of you who are watching, thank you for what you guys do. I know it's hard. 87 years, it's been hard, but it's worth it. We don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it. So thank you.
Many of us joke that, or not joke in a serious tone, but to know Shem is just to be blessed. That's all there is to say about him. So a fun note, if you have noticed on your tables, there are cute little popsicle crafts. These were especially made by our students just for each of you today. We love any opportunity we can get to involve our students in craft projects. And though they were unable to participate in art in the classroom this year, they still wanted to participate. So Miss Verline, our music and art director, many of you know her, and the staff worked so hard to create these fun projects. And be sure to take time to read them, and after the breakfast, even just walk around. Yesterday we had staff in here going around and reading each of them. They're the goals that our kids set for themselves, and some I think will surprise you. So what a joy. We'll let this finish out. I was thinking I would talk long enough, which is usually a thing, but we need Shem back up here. No. But absolutely precious watching them. It's some fun to see that. So it is now time to honor our President's Circle members. President's Circle members have made an impact on the lives of children with special needs by giving $250 to $9,999 in a fiscal year. Once they achieve $50,000 in total giving, they are inducted into our President's Club Lifetime Giving Society. Today we are honoring 2 new members of the President's Circle. Our first honoree could not be with us today, but they are tuning in live virtually. It is the Ackerman Foundation. Mr. Stephen Ackerman is with us, and Stephen, we thank you and all of your family who make your gifts and contributions to Heartspring possible. Thank you for trusting in us and our mission, and we thank you. And we will get your award to you via mail. And last but not least, we have Hutton Construction. Today we have Andy Bussing here, the president of Hutton. If you'll come up and accept your award. Hutton has been a tremendous partner to Heartspring, not only building beautiful and safe structures and buildings on our campus and continue to dream with us. You saw a picture of our beautiful remodel in our Pediatric Services lobby earlier, but they go above and beyond to support our events, even in years of COVID, to create safety initiatives where their staff are encouraged to be safe, but then Heartspring is the beneficiary of that safety. And we treasure you, Andy and Ben, and all of your team. I think we've gotten to know everybody there. They can't get rid of Heartspring. So thank you so much for your commitment to our mission. Thank you. Appreciate you. It is now with great pleasure that I have the honor to invite up to our podium our President and CEO, Miss Karina FORREST-PERKINS.
Well, good morning.
This is amazing to see. This time, when we did this last year, we had about 2 rows of tables, people very spread out. So this is exciting. It's an amazing opportunity for us. And I just want, real quick. Okay. So first, I want to just tell you a little bit about how challenging the year was. I think you know that. But for most nonprofits, this year was crushing. It was really, really tough. And we got through this year because we had staff, like what you've been able to see so far, that have lifted us up, carried the mission and the banner of the organization forward, and taken care of the mission with their heart and their spirit. And so right now, I'd really like to thank the staff. If you are a staff member of Heartspring, please stand. Every year for the last several years, we have had a very special award. And this award has been for the spirit of Heartspring. That is the type of individual that embodies who we are, who our mission is, carries us through tough times, is with us through the most challenging of periods in our history, and also someone that really knows how to celebrate with us and see the possibility when maybe the light is a little dim. And so today, I want to draw your attention to a video here about someone that embodies this, that actually shortly after I arrived, gave me about 2.5 hours of their time and taught me more about Heartspring after I was here 1 month than I have learned in the next 10. So if you could just turn your attention to the video.
A few years ago when we decided to create a recognition breakfast, and it was really an opportunity for Heartspring to celebrate all the people who keep our mission thriving day in and day out. For this breakfast, we wanted to really lift somebody up outside of all of the awards that we have to offer, and we came up with the Spirit of Heartspring Award.
Stacie and I talked about how to really have an iconic Heartspring Award, something that really spoke to who we were, and we thought, who has been that core leader for us, the community stakeholder, the driver of change, and the supporter even when things were messy. And it was Fred.
The idea came to us to honor him by naming this award after him. And who better to receive this award for the first year than Fred himself. And although it's not the first of its kind, it's the first with his name on it.
He's always been an advocate for giving back. And he gets a lot of pleasure from watching other people be successful.
When you know Fred, you feel like he's lifting you up and he's cheering you on. And to have that kind of support, it lends itself to excellence, which we take pride in here at Heartspring. Because when Fred's a part of something, you want to be better because of him, because you have his support, so you're going to strive for excellence.
You can tell when you talk with him how much he feels gratitude and blessings for everything that he's achieved, everything that he's been able to pass on to all the organizations that he supports, including Heartspring.
He is a teacher, and he loves to impart knowledge to you and then watch what you do with that knowledge to become the best that you can be.
He's very kind. He's just very easy to work with.
Fred can be critical of an issue with a total lack of animosity or sarcasm. I mean, it's always constructive. I don't think I've ever heard Fred say anything critical personally about anybody.
The thing that comes to mind when I think of Fred is warmth. He is just so kind and so genuine. He's never rushed. He always has time for you, which is amazing because he is so busy and doing all over the city of Wichita.
I think this one will be really special to him because he's had such a long time involvement with Heartspring and, formerly Institute of Logopedics.
You could tell that he had a natural passion for Heartspring and the mission and the people that serve the kids of Heartspring.
He is so deserving of anything that he gets, and just a good man that God gave a lot to, but he's given so much of it back to all of us.
Heartspring has been around for a long time. They've done a lot of great things, and it's certainly a pleasure for us, and I'm honored that he's getting this award and getting recognized. And he doesn't do any of this stuff to get recognized, but it's neat to see that he has had an impact. It is a positive impact, and in this case, his legacy will live on.
I can't think of anybody more deserving of the award, nor a more appropriate ongoing name for the award than Fred Berry.
Fred, would you come to the front, please?
I'd like to take a minute or two, try not to take too many, but a little history here I think is in order. Certainly pleased with this recognition, but it's really a recognition of the long history of now Heartspring. But I'll tell you a quick story how I got involved a long time ago. We moved here in 1957 from St. Louis for a business opportunity. And as we got acquainted socially, it seemed like nearly all the wives of our friends were involved in a volunteer group at the Institute of Logopedics. Now, my mother was an English teacher, and I thought I had a pretty good vocabulary, but I had never heard of a logopedic, and I had to learn what that meant. But Sue, my wife Sue, got involved right away as a volunteer. They called it the Women's Advisory Council, but it was really just a volunteer group that did all sorts of things, mostly cerebral palsy difficulties in those days, and so they needed a lot of help. Sue did a lot of typing for one of the teachers. So then when I got invited to join the board in the mid-'60s, naturally I was interested, and Sue was so excited about the work that the Institute of Logopedics did that I gladly accepted that invitation. What I didn't know, none of the board members, no one knew, was that the brilliant, charismatic founder, Dr. Martin Palmer, 1934, was going to die of a heart attack, an unexpected death in 1965. And that left the Institute leaderless because he was one of those charismatic leaders that didn't really have a strong backup person because he was the Institute. We went through 3 very difficult short-term executives over the next 10 years without success. We just weren't finding the right person. The staff, the audiologists weren't sold on the leadership. The business problem, the finances were fragile. And in 1976, our search committee started on the 4th search, and we went to Dr. Frank Kleffner at the St. Louis Institute for the Deaf. Is that right, Charlie? Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Get to you in a minute. Who was president at that time of the National Association of Speech and Hearing Professionals. And he knew the Institute from having been on study committees to come out and evaluate the work at the Institute. We turned to him to ask him to help us find the right leader and help us succeed after 3 you might say failures, at least it didn't get the job done. And we worked with Frank for a month or 2 or more. He gave us a couple of leads. We were not impressed. And at a famous meeting of our old search committee, a statement that I'm going to say saved the Institute of Logopedics, now Heartspring, of course. A fellow board member, Emil Ablaw, said at that meeting, guys, we don't want someone that Frank Kleffner is going to help us find. We want Frank Kleffner. Well, I have to admit, I didn't think we could get him. We had a problem situation. We probably couldn't afford what he was making back there. And then we learned he was willing to show interest. And thank heavens for that. But we learned that the two children were at Washington University in St. Louis on scholarships because Frank was an adjunct professor at Washington. Well, how are we going to match that? So, in any case, his love of the Institute and his commitment to what the Institute was doing led him and Charlotte to consider coming, and actually did come a day in 1976 in my office downtown. Charlotte and Frank Kleffner and our little committee reached an agreement for them to come to Wichita. And I don't think I'm out of line when I say that day and that commitment saved the Institute of Logopedic. Frank is gone, but his widow Charlotte is here with us this morning. I'm so pleased to see her. And Frank then turned the place around over a period of years from 76 to around 90. And that set he even had the board then even had the nerve to change the name to something that had a little more meaning. As long as those gals from the advisory council were around, they weren't going to change that name, but they finally got it changed. So that created the basis for all of the wonderful work that Heartspring now has done with I think it's 3 now up to Karina executives since Frank retired that have what you're seeing here today, what the mayor is here come to celebrate with us, has been made possible. So I must say that whatever role I played in that process has been the most meaningful work that I have done in the Wichita community in our wonderful years here. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.
Fred will also be noted as Heartspring's historian. Isn't his memory incredible? I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday. So, Fred, you are so special to so many of us, and it has been an honor and a pleasure to get to know you and call you a friend. Thank you. All right. Our next guest is sure to be another treat for you this morning. If you have heard him speak, you are aware of the power he projects and the motivation he can bestow upon a crowd. We are honored to have Mr. Sherdeill Breathett Sr. here with us today. Let me share a little bit about Sherdeill. He is a bivocational, career-minded person. He's an ordained pastor, evangelist, church planter, and currently serves as Chief Development Officer for the Union Rescue Mission here in Wichita. He retired from Sedgwick County government after serving 23 years as the economic developer and is credited for establishing foreign trade general purpose zones, minor boundary modifications, subzones, and major boundary modifications. He's a member of the National Association of Foreign Trade Zones, a certified business retention professional, and a member of the International Economic Development Coalition. You should really do more with your time, Sherdeill. Mr. Breathett is co-founder of Real Men, Real Heroes. He served 2 terms as a Kansas African American Affairs Commissioner appointed by former Kansas Governor Sam Brownback as a dedicated community advocate and currently serves on the Mennonite Housing Board as the vice chair. He has 5 adult children and 9 grandchildren. Sherdeill believes that the greatest investment any of us can ever make, Shem, you're going to love this, is not our retirement accounts portfolio, stocks and bonds, but into the lives of people. Please help me welcome Mr. Breathett.
Well, first, let me say I'm just amazed of the accomplishments that have occurred here with Heartsprings and this great gathering of people. So I think you need to look around and give yourself a great round of applause for just being here today. I want to also just recognize the Mayor Brandon Whipple. Where'd he go? He just stepped, well, he knew I was coming up to speak, so I'll get with him about that later on, as well as those that may be retiring here sometime soon. I'm not saying anybody's names, Maryland, but I'm not going into anybody's names. But just the great crowd of witnesses that are here today. And I just want to tell you all today that I truly and strongly believe that if we're going to change the lives of anybody, it's going to require for us to get out of our comfort zone. Okay, Sherdeill, let's try that again. You got to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to require for you, where's my mic? There it is, right here. It's going to require to really move from check one, two. It's going to require for us to really shift our condition to our proper position. We're going to have to move. There are no self-made men. There are no self-made women. If anyone ever tell you I'm a self-made man or a self-made woman, they're a self-made lie. We're all standing on the shoulders of someone who invested in our lives. You're all VIPs. You're very important people. But I want to put another spin on it. You're more than very important people. You're volunteers. You're investors. You're full of passion and purpose. And that makes the difference. Let me tell you, I grew up, I had a speech impediment, I had a learning disability. I was told what I was not going to be. I didn't think I'd live to be 20 years old growing up in Chicago. But I'm here to testify today, I'm approaching 62. You all supposed to say something. No, y'all supposed to say, no way, no way. After looking how good I am, look how good looking I am. No, but that's all by the grace of God. Literally, it really is. But someone in my situation, in my toxic life, a mom and a dad, where my dad would beat my mom like she was a guy. And I witnessed that. I was broken. Many of my family members, many of my siblings are broken as a result of growing up in that toxic environment. But I had a guy that came to my life when I was 15 years old with my speech impediment. And let me tell you guys, with my deficiencies, what I would do to try to keep people from focusing on my deficiencies, I would fight. I'd have that snarl on my face, trying to be tough. I became a kickboxer. Played football, played 1 year in high school because I couldn't play before then because of my academics. I couldn't cut the grade. But the year that I played, I knocked out 14 people. I was so aggressive. My coach said, son, just take it easy on your players because 3 of the 14 were on my team. But I did it so hard because I wanted to be tenacious. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to give up. I knew that I could accomplish great things, and I had a mentor that came into my life, a white gentleman that came in this black guy's life, who was rough around the edges, who struggled with the King's language, who had a very tough time with my self-esteem. I remember when I was 16 years old, I was a student of the month for the Lions Club, and I was invited to a dinner. And there were only a couple of black people. I mean, understand, I'm talking about in the 70s. And all things they had to eat, they had chicken. Now, I love chicken. Don't get me wrong. I love chicken, still love chicken. But they were eating it with knives and forks. Oh, my God. Is this microphone still working? So when I tried to eat like everyone else, because I was hungry, the knife went one way and the chicken went the other. But my mentor didn't give up on me. My mentor kept working with me. He kept doing things. His wife, of course, I didn't have logopedics at that time. Of course, I wasn't available or anything like that for me as far as what you guys did as a school of logopedics. But when you consider what Heartspring stands for, love, I had a mentor, a white gentleman by the name of Jamie Gibson. Jamie used to be the president and CEO for Roper Corporation. Roper makes lawnmowers and microwaves and things to that effect. And his son played football with us. His son is probably one of the top cardiologists in the world today, Dr. Michael Gibson, who's a professor at Harvard University. But Mr. Gibson began to invest in my life. As a very valuable person, he invested in my life. Did I tell you he invested in my life? He made the difference. He changed my trajectory. He helped me with things that I didn't think that I could accomplish or achieve. Because where I grew up in, there were 8 of us. 5 boys, 3 girls, growing up in a 2-bedroom roach den. There were occasions I would go to school and roaches would come out my clothes. If you don't think that that's a slap in the face. But Mr. Gibson says, Sherdeill, you are somebody. Look around. You sure you're talking to me? He said, you're somebody. You can change things. You can make a difference. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what your experience happens to be. You can make a difference. And I was crazy enough to believe Mr. Gibson that I could make a difference. And he would always encourage me, and he would tell me, Charlie, he says, Sherdeill, your speech is getting so much better. You're doing so much better. Just encourage me. And I had a loving mom that loved God and loved me, and she was truly my spiritual base and really my anchor. But she always prayed that I would have a male person that would come in my life that could inspire me. And let me tell you, Mr. Gibson did that for me. One of the things he allowed me to do, he allowed me to weed his flower bed to make some money. That was my hustle on the weekend. And my homies would make fun of me, but I was making some money weeding his flower bed. But you know what I learned in that experience? I learned in that experience, Kristin. I learned in that experience, Kristin. I learned in that experience, Kristin. I learned in that experience that's something I know I don't want to do. So I began to focus on my education. Guys, that 1 year of high school football, I was an All-American. I had Big Ten schools looking at me. But I couldn't go there because of my academics. I graduated with a 1.56 on a 4-point scale. Now, you got to understand, for the longest, I wouldn't tell anyone that because I was embarrassed. No one wants to be looked down upon. No one wants to be talked about. I was ashamed. But then I realized who I was. That no matter what I had gone through, no matter how battered I had been, that I was somebody. I got in my hand a $1 bill. I meant to bring out a different denomination. Yeah, there it is. I mean to bring out a 20. A couple of 20s up there, Charlie. Charlie, you can auction these off, can't you? I know you can, buddy. I know you can. But if I take this $20 bill, Marilyn, if I take it, Marilyn's still here? She loved to. Oh, shucks. See, I know they know me. That's what. If I take this $20 bill and ball it up, guess what? It's still a $20 bill. If I drop it on the ground and step on it, it's still a $20 bill. Guess what? If I spit on it, you know what? It's still a $20 bill. It still has its value. Even though some of the people that we carouse and hang around, no matter what they've gone through, your words of encouragement may lift them up and change their entire trajectory. Brian Stephenson of the Equal Justice Initiative, he says that his grandmother, when he was younger, she would come up to him and she would hug him so tight and squeeze nearly the very life out of him. And when she would see him later, she says, Brian, do you still feel me hugging you? And he knew that if he said no, that she would assault him again. So he says, yes, grandmother, I feel you holding me. She says, son, you can make a difference, but it's going to require for you to change your proximity. My mentor shifted from his environment, which was predominantly homogenous, people who look like him. And let me say this for the record. Let me just take a quick pit stop. If you hang around people that look like you and talk like you and came from the same socioeconomic background as you, if that's all you do yourself and our society a grave injustice. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from everyone. No matter what condition or position they come from, they have some value to add to make a difference to our society. And so he says, every time he thinks about his grandmother, it moves him to get closer to the situation. I was on a tour. I was in Toronto, and I had a good friend that I played ball with. He went for play for the Giants and then went over to the Canadian League. So while I was over in Toronto for a conference, he invited me to go and see the Niagara Falls. Now, if you haven't been there, let me tell you, that was a part of my bucket list. And as we were driving, and we did it from the Canadian side, beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful, the expanse of it. And as we got closer to it, I said, wow, look at that. And there was a boat down there, and the people that were on the boat, they had jackets on because of the water. But as I got closer to it, you know what happened? The mist got on me. And as I moved even closer, I got a little drenched, and my glasses I had to wipe them off. And the closer I got to the Niagara Fall, the more wet I became. What am I saying? If we're going to change the narrative, if we're going to change the life, the dynamics of people who have encountered all types of toxic lives and environments, it's going to require for us to get out of our comfort zone and to get closer. That's how we change the narrative. That's how we make the difference. And all the VIPs, all those folks that are volunteering your time, Lord, I tip my hat to you. Lord knows I've volunteered and believe that I could make a difference, and to see the lives of kids that were in situations very similar to mine, and to know that because of my involvement or our involvement, their lives change to change someone else's life. Coach Vince Lombardi made this comment. He says, it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one's concerned about who gets the credit. If we learn to check our she-goes and our he-goes at the door, did I say that again? Our she-goes and he-goes at the door, we can really begin to make the difference. And when I think of Dr. Palmer, back in 1934, to change the environment of this community, to involve people from all over the country, that right here in Little Wichita, Kansas, you're impacting the world. When I was serving as an economic developer, I was amazed at some of the small companies I would go into to do compliance reviews or to talk to them about their business or how we could help them out. And they were very unassuming. You'd just pass by it and not realize it, that every spaceship that has gone up in this space had a connection right here to Wichita. And let me tell you, the closeness, the difference that is made in this environment. You've got people from all over the country that come and utilize the service here at Heartspring. So while I was visiting a business this week, I was talking to the receptionist, and somehow we got on the conversation of Heartspring. And she lit up, and she says, I have a son who's autistic. And that place made the difference. Well, folks, let me tell you, you VIPs, you very important people, you victorious, you investors, you people of purpose and passion, you make the difference. Thank God that we have Heartspring right here in our backyard. And we need to continue to celebrate. And I want to celebrate all the employees, everyone that is involved that is making a difference. And here's my appetite, guys. Let me just tell you, I'm bald-headed because I wear so many hats, I can't grow any hair, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That to make a difference, my appetite, I want my kids to put on my gravestone that he wanted to wear out and not rust out. Because until my dying days, I want to make a difference. 3 things that come to my mind that I've been dealing with for years. Who are you? What do you stand for? Will your life make a difference? Who are you? What do you stand for? Will your life make a difference? Sherdeill, who are you? What do you stand for? Will your life make a difference? That leads me to the story of this man who was finding starfish that were landing on the seashore. And you may have heard this story. He was picking up those starfish and throwing them out back into the ocean. A young man who was observing looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm saving these starfish." He looks up and down the seashore to the left and to the right and see thousands of them. He says, "But do you think you're making any difference?" He picks up another starfish and he throws it out. He says, "I did to that one." Let me say this to you as a challenge. You may not be able to reach the hundreds and thousands, but if you start with one, you make a huge difference. It's just one person, life that can be changed. And they're blessed to be a blessing to change the lives of others. Before I take my seat, before I throw up my deuces and bust a move, I just want to share this with you. There's a young man named Cochise Bradley. And Cochise has this mentor that touched his life, that made a difference in his life. His daddy wasn't there, but God brought this mentor in his life. And his mentor, just like my mentor, didn't look like him, but he got out of his comfort zone, and he made a difference because he came closer. It's called proximity. He got closer to him. And there's a biblical passage that says that if we come closer to God, God will come closer to us. And he'll give us the power to resist the enemy. And Russ Myers, thank you for being that champion to touch the life of Cochise, because now it has multiplied. And he's touching the lives of so many others because it started with you. Victorious, a volunteer, intentional about what you did by investing in his life and being passionate about sticking with him, even when there were some times there were challenges, but you didn't allow it to discourage you. Thank you. I applaud you, and I applaud each and every one of you all. Remember, you can make a difference, one person at a time. God bless you, and God keep you is my prayer.
You guys didn't know we were taking you to church today, did you? One thing, when I very first met Sherdeill, I was working at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Sedgwick County, and he was on our advisory committee along with Chris Shank, who now serves Heartspring. And Sherdell's one of those people who you meet and you instantly feel inspired and connected, and you never forget. And when we knew we wanted to have a speaker here present with us today, he was the first person, Megan can attest to this, that came to my mind. And thank you so much for gracing us with that speech. I think it lends itself to our next award. It is about legacy. And what do we have to stand on, and who do we want to be remembered by, and what for? And at Heartspring, we have a Legacy Giving Society. It is our 1934 Legacy Giving Society. And the generosity entrusted to us by members of this society ensures that we are able to continue to impact the lives of children with special needs. We are deeply grateful for each member's commitment to our future and to the successes of the children we serve, and many of you are in this room today who have made this commitment. But it is with immense honor that we are able to recognize Fred and Sue Berry as officially inducted members of the 1934 Legacy Giving Society. Your loyalty to our community, to your friends, and to your family is inspiring. So thank you. And we have a plaque for the two of you. You know, we might have put Fred's name on an award, but we know that behind every good man is a powerful partner, and Sue has been just that, and you got to hear a little bit of that today, and we're so thankful to have you here with us and know that you were the driver and supporter and taking care of the kids and allowing Mr. Berry to be here with us and drive us, so you are just as much a part of the celebration today as Fred is. So thank you very much, Sue. We appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to have Megan and Annika come back up here. We're going to do our door prize. Who's excited to win this beautiful painting? I don't think my name's in there, so I'm a little sad, but it's fine. All right, do the honors. Do you want to announce? Go for it.
Stacie Williamson.
No, it's... Okay, it really does say that, but draw another one. I didn't... You sure? It was one to draw. Thank you. Take two.
Jennifer Marshall.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Jennifer, where are you at? Oh, there she is. And Jennifer is with Spirit Aero Systems and champions so many of our relationships with Team Spirit and Spirit Employee our Good Neighbor Fund. And so we're so thankful and couldn't go to a more deserving person. So that's exciting. And I know you'll love that in your home. I do want to say a special thank you to Relevant Audiovisual in the back of the house today for streaming our breakfast for all of our virtual guests joining in, and thank you to each of you. Also, a very warm thank you to Prairie Fire Coffee Roasters back here, always serving up warm and delicious coffee for us. They are so committed to our mission. Again, thank you to our special guests, our awardees, our staff, to Annika, to Kristin and Sherdeill, thank you, and Cherry. It's so wonderful to meet you. And to each of you for the role that you have played in this past year that has been a struggle for some, but you have really lifted up Heartspring through it. And I would be remiss if I did not include our planning team, the graphic beauty elements that you see, the videos that were put together, Dave, Alice, and Megan, the rest of our team who make this look so effortless and beautiful. Thank you so very much. And... This concludes our program. I do want to remind all of our awardees to please stick around if you want to go out these doors. We'll take some photos with each of you to commemorate this special day. And we hope that you leave here again feeling inspired and motivated and to continue to enjoy the ride with Heartspring. Thank you.